we're in danger of maybe losing. Because I think it's page 35. I had it written down, but I think I might have the wrong page. Not quite the quote, but something like, private property owners will have to adjust to pretty much regulations that might be coming in. That's not exactly the words, but that concerns me. The other thing I see in there is the 12 values of New Jersey, New Jersey values. I just wonder, who came up with these values? Were they from any of the meetings that you had?
Mm-hmm.
Who's making these values up? And I think what you've heard is that people weren't heard, at least they don't think they were heard, around the state. And that's one of the things I'd like to see it addressed. The other thing, this is a little deviating from the plan itself, but I know the Lieutenant Governor was in Wall Township on Friday, and there was a solar panel company that was, what I'm a little concerned about, I believe that this company, and the Lieutenant Governor can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think it's more of a public-private enterprise.
Sir, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if you could keep your comments
but that concerns me. Anything public-private, okay. And I'm only saying that in the deference to the governor because she's here. I might be wrong on that, but if they're receiving grants for something like that, that concerns me too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Shelley Kennedy.
Thank you. I have specific comments about the plan. I also have specific comments about the way in which this plan is being held. I think that 6 meetings is far too little. I believe these people feel shortchanged that we weren't allowed to come up with a framework for the plan in the first place. With deference to the gentleman who said it's a better plan than the one that's currently in place, I would agree, because anything would pretty much be better than that. But to do what you had mentioned to me, to streamline the government, to make it economically more feasible for people to do business here, doesn't take a 40-plus page plan. It doesn't take social justice, and it doesn't take re-engineering where we live and destroying our property rights to do it. Now, what you may not know is, where is the carrot? Okay, where is the carrot? There's no stick maybe yet, but there certainly is a carrot. That carrot comes from HUD and the grants that come through HUD, just like in the North Jersey plan. So when this plan is implemented, and there's nothing in this plan that either prevents this from happening or protects your property rights, when this plan is finally implemented, what is going to happen is that the money that's already been accepted, that $5 million, because Monmouth County is part of that 13-county regional transportation plan, what will happen is we will have to implement the terms of the HUD grant because the money's already taken. Do you want to know what your government's going to look like? You asked about regions. I know what your government's going to look like. This is your new governance structure right here. This governance structure is accountable to the North Jersey Sustainable Communities Consortium. It says right there, Governance Council. We're not on it anywhere, but I'll tell you who is. Rutgers, Blaustein School, NJTPA, NJ Transit, OPA, NJ Future, Plan Smart, New Jersey, affiliated partnership groups, whoever they are, etc., executive committees, all to implement 3 principles. Do we know what those 3 principles are, people? Economy, environment, and equity. And that's required by the HUD grant. The HUD grant itself actually requires that. So, since there's nothing in this plan to stop that from happening, to protect our property rights, we're afraid. We would like to see some things changed about this plan to protect our property rights, in deference to what this gentleman just said. So what I would suggest is, I think I sent you a copy of my findings already. Look very, very seriously at this, because for one thing, it may not even be constitutional. Our New Jersey Constitution does not permit itself to be altered by this kind of plan, and it would have to be in order to be implemented the way it's currently written. So what I'd suggest you do is actually get an attorney to look at it from a constitutional perspective, the state and the federal constitutions. So those are the things I would suggest definitely, because you already have my other suggestions in writing by page. Now, about the Agenda 21 question, so many people brought it up. Is the plan Agenda 21? Did you come to this saying, I'm going to implement the 3 E's of sustainability? I seriously doubt you did. But the problem is that the mechanics are already in place. The mechanics are already in place to do this, whether you intend for it to happen or not. Intent is not the issue here. It's what's going to happen. And the moment our counties, okay, the HUD grant requires each of the 13 counties to sign a contract, all right? Counties constitutionally, contracts supersede the Constitution. If you think you have 4th Amendment rights, 5th Amendment rights, or whatever, you're wrong. Once your county signs this HUD grant, your rights are signed away. This is why you're going to have a new government. This state plan doesn't stop that. I'm asking you to please revise your plan to protect our rights.
Excuse me, I thought you were
Everybody, before we go to the next speaker, I just want to remind you, brother, that the mechanism we really appreciate it because it's just something tangible to refer to, as Shelley did, which was very helpful. Fred Akers.
My name is Fred Akers. I've lived in the state of New Jersey for 60 years, and I'm staying here. I'm not going anywhere. And I want to say maybe 20 years ago, I attended the first state plan public meeting with Dr. Virgil. I believe was doing that. And and one of the questions that was presented to Dr. Virgil in the unveiling of the plan was there enough drinking water in the state of New Jersey to support the level of development that the plan at that time proposed? And his reply was that he was not paid to take a look at that, so he deferred from the question. But what I'm concerned with in particular is the focus on growth. And I'm glad to see the word targeted growth in the plan. And I think that's very important. I'm going to submit written comments when I have a full understanding of what's going on. But the growth aspect is of significant concern to me because there's this assumption that